don't mean that they're in your yard. You might not have any one of these.
Right, right.
It's just something you'll learn as you go along.
Are you doing some preventative spraying every year for these things?
Yeah, you can. They also have, it's a red sphere. You coat it with tanglefoot, hang it on the tree. The fly maggot and sometimes the calling moth are attracted to that. And if you look closely on the tanglefoot covering on the red sphere, right, you'll see the little apple fly maggots or the calling moth.
I've seen those hanging all over trees, so people use a lot of those.
Yeah, some people use it to see if they're there, and some people, if they don't have too many fruit trees, they'll put 2 or 3 of them, and that's the control.
Right. And what about the tree in general? When it gets this old and looks kind of old and knotty and gnarly and gangly, is it necessarily unhealthy, or that's just the way it looks when you look at the ends of these big old branches here?
Well, some of these have been taken off to make the branch not too far out. If you get a heavy snow though in the winter, that's when you lose your branches to snow and ice storms.
Right.
So I tend to take the branches in a little bit once I kind of look at the branch and say, well, that should be able to support a good weight of snow.
Yeah.
But by taking it back, you're now encouraged a lot of these other branches, which eventually will produce your flowers. There's a flower on this one here. There's another flower here. So some of these branches, which are 2 or 3 years old, have produced these laterals, which have your flowers.
Okay. And this is probably a good example of a semi-dwarf height, right? Where it's about 10, 12 feet tall.
Usually 10 to 12 feet.
And that's what is popular these days, so people, again, can reach up and pick the fruit from the ground.
Some orchards, they might want to run their trees about 18, 20 feet.
Okay.
If they have the tractors and the lifts and the tall apple ladders. But
and how much fruit will you expect on a good year from an apple tree that's mature like this?
Something like this, you probably could get like maybe 2 to 4 bushels of apples.
2 to 4 bushels, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Henry, you got some frozen blueberries here.
Yeah, these are the nice fruit. We've picked this last year, and
a big berry. What kind is this?
It's probably Spartan. Spartan is the variety. It has a nice flavor. It's early in the season, and actually the blueberry bush that we pruned across the street is Spartan.
Spartan. Okay. So it's a big berry, and it's an early season berry, which is important to distinguish early, mid, late, small, medium, large with the berries.
Yeah, and a blueberry bush, you only have 2 to 3 weeks. The first berry you pick and the last one you pick, and the bush is all done for the season. So if you're going to do blueberries, you might want to do an early season, a mid-season, or a late
season. Okay.
And my kids love these. They used to throw them in the microwave and eat them as they were thawing. And they have a nice flavor in the winter.
Actually, not bad frozen.
Yeah, well, the flavor's still there.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
And this is the Massachusetts Cultivated Blueberry Growers Association Cookbook.
Yes.
Some great recipes.
Yeah, we did that because we know that people like to find ways of using blueberries, and
I just saw blueberry oatmeal cookie. I think I want to go home and make that. But this Cultivated Blueberry Growers Association probably has a website, and you can find your local U-Pick blueberry operation, which there are dozens of all around the state of Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, they are in there. Yeah.
All right, and the other last thing we'll talk about is jam. Yeah,
this happens to be raspberry jam. We have a few raspberries. We also have blueberry jam, but I like the small fruits. I like blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries.
Right.
So,
well, it must be contagious. Once you start with blueberries, you must keep going, right?
Oh yeah. No, it's the homemade jam is wonderful. So we enjoy it.
All right. Well, Henry, thank you very much today. We learned a lot. I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to and actually do successfully in their own yards. So thanks for all your time, Henry.
You're welcome, Peter.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, who would have thought blueberries in the middle of winter can be so good? I want to thank Henry Pat today for inviting us out. And thank you, Ann Wells. If you have any questions about topics that you want to see us cover on future shows, send us an email. And we'll see you next time.
I'm Dr. Barbara Herbert.
And I'm Dr. Daniel Alford.
Prescription drug abuse is a serious problem throughout the United States. The National Institutes of Health estimates that 20% of Americans have used prescription drugs for non-medical reasons.
Prescriptions such as painkillers, sedatives, and steroids are among the most commonly abused drugs, behind marijuana and ahead of such illicit drugs as cocaine and heroin.
The elderly are vulnerable because they take so many prescriptions, and abuse by young people is reaching alarming proportions. Nearly 2 million 12 to 17-year-olds are abusing these drugs.
Most people take prescription drugs responsibly. These provide effective therapies for serious conditions, but when used incorrectly, these drugs can become addictive.
If you're taking prescription medications or care for someone who does, talk with your physician or pharmacist and make sure you understand how to use them properly.
And be sure to keep them stored in a safe place and dispose of them properly when no longer needed. For more information, visit samhsa.gov.
HCAM programming is supported by viewers like you. Thank you.
And by Angel's Garden Center, growing in Hopkinton since 1957.
And by Hopkinton Drug, an integrative pharmacy and community partner since 1954, providing customized compounded medication in their on-site lab, nutritional supplements, and a knowledgeable staff. Hopkinton Drug, believing food, exercise, and community, along with an integrative approach to medicine, can help you achieve your wellness goals.
This is HCAM TV.
Nicole, Dan said he was going to show up a couple of minutes late.
Okay, sure. I'll keep an eye out for him and anyone else trying to join in.
Okay.
Okay, sure. I'll keep an eye out.
Through the chair, we're live on HCAM TV.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ellen, what's Dan's last name?
Holmes.
Holmes? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everybody. It is 5 o'clock, so we're going to start our discussion related to our brick grant and drainage infrastructure around the town of Hopkinton. I am John Westerling. I am the Director of Public Works for the town of Hopkinton. I'm joined this evening by Nicole Bratzos, who is Hopkinton's Inspector of Construction and Utilities. And I'm also joined by Evelyn Ramos, who works for Ty and Bond, who is the town's consultant engineer as it relates to this brick grant opportunity. And Dan Holmes of Ty and Bond will also be joining us shortly. And I'm going to turn it right over to Nicole Bratzos. Please, Nicole.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And I'm going to give you a rundown of what the brick grant is, why we applied for it, and some links to our website where you can find out more information and take a public survey. So I'm going to figure out how to get my screen shared here.
While you're doing that, Nicole, I'm just going to offer to folks that this meeting is being recorded. So just be aware that whatever you state or any images that you post on the screen will be recorded. Thank you.
Great. John, can you see my screen right now, the presentation?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I can't really see if people are trying to join in now. That's a problem.
Maybe do a slide and then quickly check.
Yeah, I'll have to go in and out just to see if anyone's joining late. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so this is our brick grant. The brick grant stands for building resistant infrastructure in communities, and it's a program that supports communities in hazard mitigation projects and reducing the risk from natural disasters and natural hazards. Our project is working with we're working with consultants at Ty and Bond to do preliminary condition assessments of 30 culverts. We'll be collecting data relating to resiliency and structural sustainability concerns. Out of the 30 culverts, we'll be doing a more in-depth analysis conducted of up to 6 locations. We'll focus on this project on areas that are known to cause flooding, and this data will be used to prioritize future maintenance and or rehabilitation projects. Okay, I'm going to get out of the screen sharing and see if anyone else is joining us. Let's see. No one else right now. Okay, I'm just gonna get back in here. Oops. Okay, sorry for the delay. First, Zoom on this setup here. So trying to see everything at once. Okay, here we go. Okay. The project cost for this project will be $104,000. The brick grant that the town received is $57,000. The town will fund the remaining $47,000 from the DPW's existing stormwater budget. This project follows the completion of the 2020 Hazard Mitigation Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Plan, otherwise known as the MVP plan. This plan can be found on the town stormwater website. Flooding was one of the 4 leading hazards discussed by participants during Hopkinton's MVP meetings. Flooding can be caused by multiple factors, including hurricanes, extreme precipitation, thunderstorms, nor'easters, and winter storms. An increase in storms is expected due to climate change. This will cause more issues, flooding issues for the town. Where did we go? Stormwater flooding. Stormwater flooding can be caused by several factors, including undersized culverts, poor drainage, topography, and high amounts of impervious surfaces and debris. The flooding occurs when the precipitation rate is greater than the stormwater systems can handle. This is an example of stormwater flooding. This is due to an undersized culvert, and it's flooding that is over on Legacy Farms. So it causes wide-reaching, undersized culverts can cause wide-reaching flooding concerns. Solutions that we're looking at. In this project, we're going to consider structural and non-structural flood mitigation alternatives. Structural alternatives will focus on the use of green infrastructure. Ty and Bond will prepare 2 alternatives for each of the 6 flood-prone areas chosen for evaluation and conceptual design. These alternatives will help the town plan future work and increase our resiliency to stormwater flooding. They will be presented at a second public meeting later this year. Oops. And these are 2 culverts that were improved over on Fruit Street, so twin culverts. There's a public survey that is available. It's been open for about a week, and it's open for another week. It'll close February 22nd, 2023. And we invite folks to go on and enter into the survey areas of concern throughout town, and also ideas that you would like to see for restoration. And then we're going to open the floor up for questions and comments. Ty and Bond's here to assist us with questions and comments, as well as town staff. And any additional questions and comments, if you're not here for this meeting, or if you think of questions later, you can reach out to me at my email here, nbratzos@hopkintonma.gov. And then there's a lot of information on our stormwater website at www.hopkintonma.gov/stormwater. This links you to the MVP grant and some more information about the project.
Nicole, do you want to check the waiting room and see if there's anyone there?
There's no one here.
Okay.
Okay.
Evelyn, do you have anything that you wish to add?
At this point, no, I think Nicole covered everything. I believe Dan said he was in the waiting room, so let me just check in with him to make sure he clicked the correct link.
And just a final check, Nicole, there's no one in the waiting room that you can see?
Let's see. I'm not seeing the waiting room right now on this view. I was seeing participants. How do I get to the waiting room? I just turned off.
Let me see if I can look that up. I also haven't used Zoom.
So we have nothing more to add. So I want to thank Evelyn for joining us, for Nicole for your presentation. If anyone sees this and they have additional questions, you can reach out to Nicole at nbratsos, BRATSOS, at hopkintonma.gov. You can also contact Nicole at 508-497-9740. And again, be sure to check out that survey if you haven't had a chance yet to reply. So with that, I'm going to thank HCAM for recording this and presenting it. And again, my thanks to Evelyn Ramos and to Nicole Bratsos. So thank you all very much. Appreciate your participation.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John and Nicole. Bye.